Hi, I'm Harriet Hageman, Wyoming's Congresswoman. Last week I discussed the scope and breadth of President Biden's and Secretary Mayorkas's border crisis and promised to hold this administration accountable for the invasion of illegals into our country, causing the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans from drug overdoses, human trafficking on a scale never before seen, and abject misery in our cities. In addition to the over 8 million illegals that Biden and Mayorkas have processed into the United States in violation of our laws, there are over 1.7 million gotaways who escaped Border Patrol, those individuals who intentionally evaded law enforcement to bring contraband into our country. In December alone, over 302,000 aliens crossed the southwest border. That is over half the population of our entire state. This week I made good on my promise of accountability by voting to impeach Secretary Mayorkas for his repeated violations of our Constitution and his oath of office. It is patently clear that he has willfully violated the laws of this nation by refusing to secure the border and has repeatedly lied to Congress, and as such, he must be held accountable. He has allowed millions of illegal aliens to roam freely throughout the nation, distorted our asylum and parole process in ways that have enriched drug smugglers and human trafficking cartels, and directly contributed to a humanitarian crisis on an enormous scale. Unfortunately, the vote that we took yesterday to impeach Mayorkas failed by a razor-thin margin. We are not finished, though, and plan to vote again on impeachment once all of our members return to D.C., which should be as soon as next week. While justice is temporarily delayed, we will not let it be denied. We will continue to expose Secretary Mayorkas's crimes to my congressional colleagues and to the American people so that we can be sure that he is held accountable. I will be returning to our southern border for a third time this week to continue to expose the impact of the Biden administration's refusal to protect our nation from the invasion we are experiencing. This time to address the resulting environmental catastrophe that has been created by the uncontrolled migration of the world's poor. Although the impact on our private and public lands, water resources, vegetation, and wildlife has been immense, there has been little discussion of this issue. This tidal wave of illegals also strains our community programs, puts a further strain on our housing supply, and threatens our food production. The American people deserve better. I will report next week as to what we find during our latest trip to the border. On another note, I am proud to report that one of my bills that passed through the House and is headed to the Senate, and I introduced a bill to add greater transparency into federal government grants. On Wednesday, my Pilot Butte Power Plant Conveyance Act passed by voice vote in the House of Representatives. This bill will transfer an unused hydropower plant located in Fremont County from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation to the Midvale Irrigation District. This is truly a win for everyone, saving taxpayer money, creating yet another energy and revenue producing facility for Wyoming, and giving us greater control over our water resources. Senator Barrasso has been leading the push for this bill on the Senate side, and I know that he will work hard to get this bill passed for our state. I also introduced the Grant Act this week, which will increase access and transparency within the federal grant-making process. Right now, there are more than 1,000 federal grant programs across 26 agencies, and it should be no surprise that navigating the complex web of federal grant programs can be frustrating, time-consuming, and expensive. The Grant Act is designed to simplify this process for small businesses and local communities by requiring agencies to provide a list of all competitive and discretionary grants they offer and provide assistance and information on how groups can apply for them. By creating greater transparency in the grant application process, as well as requiring agencies to report to Congress on the number, value, and recipients of grants awarded, more Americans will be able to apply for grants and trust that the billions of dollars distributed each year are being faithfully and fairly allocated. Thank you for taking the time to watch this quick overview of just a few highlights from this week in Washington. There is so much more that I don't have time to share with you in this video, so please subscribe to my newsletter, The Wyoming Roundup, to learn more on all of my votes, committee hearings, and other efforts to represent our great state. You can sign up through my website at hageman.house.gov. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful week.